You are now entering the Queen's Quarter. We are powerful, strong, and rulers in our own right. There's a queen in you, there's a queen in me. Every woman is a queen.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Queen Quarters podcast. We are women of all ages sharing our views and topics on different subjects. We, the Queens, would like to thank you for tuning in and spending time with us. Just before we start our show, we would like to do a roll call for our new viewers. And then after, it's tea time with tea. I'm Queen Ty. I represent the 50s Club.
Hi, I'm Queen Emma, and I represent the 60s Club.
Hi, I'm Queen T, representing the 50s Club.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? I'm Queen Tens, representing the 40s Club.
Hey, guys, I'm Queen Jock, representing the 40s Club, the early 40s.
Hey, everybody, what's up? I'm Queen Lady B, and I'm representing the late 30s.
Hey, guys, I'm Queen Nye, representing the early 30s.
Hey guys, I'm Queen Shay and I'm representing the 20s Club.
I just want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to Queen Tea Time with Queen T. Today we're going to go back and revisit one of our teas that we had earlier in one of our podcasts. We're going to visit the Elderberry Tea with cinnamon sticks. It lowers your blood sugar. It helps fight bacteria and fungal infections, and it boosts your immune system. In a time like this, we need to boost our immune systems. So go and get your tea and join us. Let's see what's happening in Queen's Quarters today.
Okay, guys, we're going to dive right into our topic of the day. This is a good one. Now, we know we have some single women, and we have some single women with kids. I'm just curious what the ladies have to say about this topic. Our topic of the day is women being the breadwinner of the households and what are the pros and cons. Now, I like to start off with the Dub Club because they're young and they're starting out. I'm just curious as to what they have to say about this topic.
I always say this, but it's tricky because I've sat at a lot of tables with a lot of older women just to hear their experiences. And there are more women breadwinners in the household than people might think. And it can cause issues in the household when it comes to their relationship and their marriage. But I definitely think on a personal level, just for the individual woman, I believe that it sets a standard and it sets a tone, and it reverses a lot of patriarchal roles that have been set in stone and been put in place throughout history, with men being the breadwinners and being the ones that go out and make the money, and the women being the housewife or the stay-at-home mom, because we were looked at fragile and we were looked at as if we didn't have much of a say-so because we were not mentally stable enough or we weren't strong enough. So they've kind of placed women in this box throughout history. Even with the pay cuts that are happening, men are still statistically paid more than women, but we are reversing those roles and we are saying, yeah, no, I make the money. I can handle the bills. You can do whatever you do on your end, but I can take care of me regardless. And I think that's such a boss move. And I think that's so important and so it's an epic thing. So I applaud every woman that is the breadwinner in their households, but I also feel for them because I think the cons of that, like I said, because of the patriarchal roles, I think it causes a lot of issues if your husband and your mate is not strong enough within themselves and not confident within themselves to handle a woman with such a stature. I think it can cause issues with confidence and just security all around. I've experienced women that have these issues where the man feels lesser than. He feels emasculated because he's not the one making all the money, and he has to, in certain ways, depend on the woman for certain things because he does not have the funds to be able to take care of everything. And the other prominent issue that I see a lot with women being the breadwinner, I hear for not only the women that are married, but women that are married with children. We are natural nurturers to our children. And so for us to be the breadwinners means we spend a lot of hours at work, potentially. So it takes away from being there for your children physically, and my sister, she's single, but she has a child, and now she's an entrepreneur. She runs her own business. So a lot of the times she's at work and for an extensive amounts of hours. So she does not get to be there with her son as much as she used to be. And so that takes a toll on a lot of women because we just want to mother our children and love on our children, make sure that they have everything that they need. So that's another issue. But I definitely think that being a breadwinner is a positive thing. And if you learn the ropes and you do it correctly, there are ways around that, and you can definitely still connect to the relationships in your life, whether it be your children, your husband, your friends, whoever. So I just think it's about balance.
It's funny you said that. I was in a relationship at one time, and I was more so making a lot more money than my friend was. And we were living in the same household at the same time. But whenever we would go out, he didn't have the funds, but I would find myself doing this at the table. Like whenever the bill come, I would slip him the money underneath the table. So he wouldn't feel less of a man.
Right.
And I think that by me doing that, like he would take it and, pull out the money and pay for it, and that made him feel good, so I mean you can kind of balance it out with your man. To me, it's what makes your relationship strong. What Jock? Jock is like, wait a minute.
That made him feel good.
Thank you. That made him feel good because you were slipping money.
No, that made him
to pay a bill.
No, that made him feel better because I know what we were going through in the household, and I know how he was feeling, in the house, because first of all, he wasn't making that much money, and he wanted to still show me a good time, and he wanted to still, be there for me. I know what you're saying, but he wanted to still be there for me. But I'm looking at it as, looking at his face, and he was feeling less of a man, doing that because of the simple fact I was bringing in the money. Yeah, I would try to do
Time.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Do not act like. Wait a minute. Do not act like you wouldn't foot the bill for your man if it's an issue in a relationship. I'm saying
I totally agree. I totally agree with Thais.
My question is, if you can't afford it, why go out? Y'all can have fun inside.
Not only that, wait, hold up.
It's just sometimes where you had to go out, or
it depends on how long you've been in that relationship.
We were in
what type of relationship
for over 3 years.
I totally understand that. I totally understand. If you've been in a relationship for a minute, listen. If you've been in a relationship for a minute, you don't want to emasculate your man. You don't. And if it means that you got to slip him the money underneath the table or whatever, however it is that y'all transfer the bill, listen, If it means that you have to do that to make your relationship work, I totally understand. I totally understand. If he can't afford to go where you want to go, and you've been in a relationship, I'm not saying that you met Johnny yesterday. It don't work like that. If you've been in a long-term relationship, sometimes you pay, sometimes he pay. I understand, Thais. I don't knock you for that.
I think we need to call the paramedics. I think we need to call the paramedics for Jock, because she over here like,
They're not letting me talk. They're not letting me talk. They're not letting me talk. It's burning me up. So my thing is, that's not, you didn't say that was a 3-year relationship. Now, if it's 3 years, I understand that.
You didn't get me.
I thought you meant like in the beginning.
No,
but wait, hold up. Because if he can't afford to take you and where you got to slide him money, he need to take you where he can afford. And you got to be appreciative for those places. Now, every once in a while, if you want to pay, that's not a problem. I don't mind paying every once in a while. If I want to go here and I know you can't afford it, we can go and I'm going to pay. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm not saying that emasculating a man and stuff like that. No, but I'm not slipping nobody no money.
No, I didn't say.
Maybe slipping the money was a bad term. Maybe slipping the money was a bad term.
I'm not doing that.
Maybe it was a situation where she made sure that he didn't feel embarrassed by embarrassed
in public.
Maybe y'all should have went there. Maybe
no. Look, we were in a relationship. No, we were in a relationship for 3 years. So it's sometimes where we have to show our face for our friends and for, his job. Even though he was still working, he just wasn't making that money. So we had to still show our face to these events. And like I said, we lived together. So it wasn't like I'm just showing a Joe Smo anybody, paying the bill for anybody.
Right.
My man for the 3 years that we lived together for 3 years.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yeah, I want to ask one too. Wait a minute. Y'all say, wait a minute.
Go ahead, girl.
Did that get on your nerves though? Like, come on, I gotta pay every time. I gotta slip you money every time.
No. We did not do it all the time. No. Let me rephrase that. It's not like we went out all the time and did it. It's just that it was a situation where I had to do that for him because he was feeling some type of way. And of course, I didn't want, that's my man at that time. So you got to build your man up in certain cases. And I'm not going to let him feel less of a man because he couldn't afford to do it at that particular time.
Remember, guys, the topic in which we're talking about, she's being the breadwinner. She's making I'm not condoning what you're talking about, Thais.
No, I'm not saying.
We didn't say he was broke.
But I'm saying we're talking about her making more money than the guy. And it's funny because I was going to touch a little bit on that with you, Shay, when you was mentioning the different issues that could arrive with the woman being the breadwinner and the man being at home. I just wanted to put out here, is that a society thing? Because we've been bred that way. Like, the man goes, he goes and bring home the bacon and the woman fry it up in the pan. So is that like, because we were bred that way? Does that make a difference? Because remember, sometimes a man could be very good with the children, a little better with the children than the woman, a little bit more nurturing than the woman. And maybe he's okay with being at home. Maybe she's okay with making the money. I don't know.
And then
can it be a society thing, the reason why we have those insecurities?
But you have that nowadays sometimes because it's a woman's workforce now. More so than anything. So you have men at home with the kids and taking care of the household, cooking and doing all of that. So how do you think they handle situations when they have to go out? You just think they just don't go out?
No, I got a question. I'm gonna get to what T said, but my question is, because I know that you said, and I'm not listen. I'm not knocking. I know people fall on hard times and all things like that. So I'm not knocking that. But it just, the phrasing of it blew my mind, that it made him feel better. Because my question, it made me think, how many times did you have to do that? How long was he you know, in that place where he couldn't really pay, you know, because pay cuts and all that kind of stuff. How many times, how long were y'all in that place?
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter how many times.
No, it matters to me. That's
no,
what
wait
I'm
a minute.
asking.
Wait
No,
a minute.
listen.
I'm going to answer that, Emma.
My understanding. Okay, go ahead.
Emma, I'm going to answer that. It was one situation. And like I said, it was a situation where he had to be somewhere and for his job at that. And it was a situation where I did that because I knew what he was going through at home. So I had to do that, and I know how he was feeling that whole entire time. So when I say it made him feel better, it made him not look less of a man at that particular time, even though that's what he was feeling throughout that whole situation where he was going through with his job. His job was going through something where they wasn't paying him, and he still was dedicated enough to still go to work, but they wasn't paying him, and he came home with a zero paycheck, but he was still going to work all the time. So my thing is, I supported him at that particular time. And that's what you have to do. This is what we expect our man to do. So the roles was reversed. And if I was in the situation, I would expect my man to do the same thing I did for him.
I absolutely agree. I just needed to understand the context.
What it was for.
Yeah, I just wanted to understand the context because I absolutely, like I said, I understand people falling on hard times, and that's your man. You said my man, that's my man. Okay, girl, take care of your man. Don't worry about it. But I just wanted to understand because there are some men, you know, and I would get in trouble for this probably, but there are some men that are comfortable with being less than, and I'm not like like T said, there are some men that like to stay at home and like to take care of the kids, and that's a load off the woman's back. So in no way are you less than the woman if that's the case. But there are some men, especially because y'all asked me about my age group, that just don't want it. They don't want it. There's not the men that came from y'all time period and my grandfather's time period. They were taught you work, you take care of your family. And I'm not saying the way that society is set up and what happened throughout history is correct and that's how it should be. But I just feel like some of that should have been passed down from generation to generation to explain the value of work and the value of making money, because it's not just about the money. It's not about money. It's about the stability and the security and making sure that you and whoever is under you and standing next to you is secure, just as she should do, because no woman. We in 2021. No woman should be dependent on a man for anything. So I just don't see that. We should all be secure. But as the man, because the man, they want to feel, you know, masculine. They want to feel like I'm the man of the house. Okay, you got to do what the men of the house do. So
now I can understand that if he wasn't working, I would understand it. But he was working. He was going every single day. It was a situation. And then you got to look at it like now. Like a lot of men can't get jobs for whatever reason it is. But a lot of men don't have jobs. So, I mean, it's just the way society is now. What do you do as a woman in a workforce, and you know that the men can't get the jobs like a lot of men can't get jobs like most of us women can.
You know, Queen, I was I was looking at Queen Ty, I was looking at a couple of the while you guys were talking, statistics of Black women in the workforce, and we have a high number versus Black men. So like you said, for whatever the reason is, you have more working Black women than you do Black men. And it has nothing to do with, like, our Black men have a higher percentage of being incarcerated. So you have to understand, the times that we live in has allowed Black women to work and make more money than our men. So I just wanted to put that out there statistic wise.
So Ty, is that why you were saying that men can't get jobs like women can? Because I've just never heard that ideal before?
Well,
Men?
I am a boss. Well, I don't want to say a boss where I'm at, but I
You
am
are a boss.
Boss,
a
right,
supervisor. And I do see more women coming into the workforce than I do young men coming into the workforce. I don't know why that is, but for the young guys that do come into the workforce, I kind of tend to help them a whole lot more. And I won't say a whole lot more is because the young kids need more guidance than ever before now, because they don't like to work. I'm going to put it like that. They don't like to work and they feel like they don't have to work. So my thing is that's the reason why I say that, because we have a lot more women coming into the workforce than men. I don't know where the men are. Why aren't they working? Why aren't they trying to get a job? I don't even know what the issue is. I kind of do, but
you don't really want to say right now.
I
get it. I get it.
She want to tap into
it. That's right, because that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. But some of you other queens, I haven't heard you say anything about the pros and cons. And we haven't heard a lot of cons. What's the pros?
I think, being a Black woman and well, I'm gonna ask this question. Maybe it's not a question, maybe it's a statement. I don't know, but it's hard out there, and you're the breadwinner, and you're the one hustling and bustling and trying to make a way. And it seems like when you do get someone, you just want a sense of relief. You really do. You just be like, you just take over this rent. You be happy to get with. I'm just saying. I'm just being real, like B would say. That's all cute and everything, but you want that sense of relief. Like, yes, I'm about to get married. Yes, he about to pay these bills, and I can keep my little money and go a little shopping, a little extra. All I gotta do is pay the light bill, phone bill, food bill. That's it, and I keep my little bit of money.
But let me ask you.
But I don't want y'all to think that I won't take care, because I go hard. I ride or die. Like, I've been in relationships where my significant other lost a job or wasn't working or something like that, and I had to hold it down. But I didn't have to hold it down for no years. Now, wait a minute. Now, I mean, come on. Now, wait a minute. You don't have no type of push to want to do better. You don't have no type of push to try to go look for something. I mean, I understand what you're saying. That was your man, everything like that. And he was bringing
No. I think you got it wrong. You said for years. No, I said
no. I'm not saying you. I'm saying I wouldn't do that.
Oh, okay.
Years, because at some point it got to be some type of pushing you, some fire, and during that time you have to encourage as the girlfriend. You have to empower. You have to say, "Come on, babe, I got it now." And then y'all have that conversation. You see where he's going. You see if he's applying. You see if he's doing everything that he needs to do. And only society is blocking him, but he's doing everything he needs to do. They got the one-stop career centers out here in every county. It's things that you can do to help him, push him, look for jobs for him, apply, and everything like that. Now, if you just home, just chilling like this, she gonna do everything like that. Now, come on, you don't deserve no rewards. You don't deserve to go out to dinner on no Friday night when I get paid, and you ain't try. Now, I can do it for a little bit, but come on, my check is my check. I got stuff to take care of. I can't take care of your stuff and my stuff. I'm just sorry. I've been doing it for so long. I want to be taken care of too.
Interject for 1 second.
I want to be taken care of too.
If I can interject for just 1 second, we have to recognize where you are in a relationship. If you meet Joe Blow Schmo and Joe Blow Schmo was a bum when you met him, then that should tell you, your spidey senses just say, no, this is, he cool to rock with, but this is not something that I'm working with. But if you have a nice friend and this guy is working, or, and you happen to be making more money, you don't have to just whip your check out and be like, I make more money than you. You don't have to do that. Mm-hmm. You can make a relationship work and still not emasculate a man and still be the person that's making the most money. The key is that you're contributing equally. See, it's not who's contributing the most. It's who equal sacrifice, right. Not equal pay, equal sacrifice. Right. If I'm giving half my check and he giving half his check, if my check is more and it helps to pay the bills, and that's the way we chose to work it out, then that's one thing. But if you meet Johnny Blow and Johnny Blow picking up cans for a living, and you like him and you're willing to work for him and picking up cans, he make $500 a day. You can pick up cans, you take that aluminum to that aluminum spot and, do whatever you have to do. It depends on where you are in your relationship and how much you want to get with this person, how much you trust this person, how much you want to deal with him. It's not a situation where just because I'm the breadwinner, I'm going to throw that up in your face and make you feel like, sometimes Absolutely. I treat, sometimes he treat, if it's a situation, if that's the way it's going to go like that. I'm not saying every time I get paid, I'll sign back my check and you give it to you and then you determine what bills getting paid. We don't work like that. But you have to have equal sacrifice. You have to have equal sacrifice in order to make any relationship work, whether it's with your parents, with your children, with your significant other, whatever it is, any relationship has to work. So that's to me,
So you did ask what are the pros and the cons of a woman being a breadwinner. On my end, I believe at my age, 30, I believe it's a beautiful thing. It keeps me empowered. I'm educated. Why not? I'm sure I would be a breadwinner. But then again, I can't really say that because I'm sure whoever I eventually get with will also be a breadwinner. So to me, I just think that back then it was a different time. Women did not even work. So for us to even have the opportunity to work is a beautiful thing. I'm definitely going to work. And then eventually when I'm a wife, I'm definitely going to take care of the kids. I'm definitely going to do all the things I'm supposed to do because, women, we truly do rule the world. But if a man definitely is not the breadwinner in the household, I believe he should do the non-traditional roles, like the cleaning, the cooking, taking care of the kids. There's things that are normally men you don't really think men would do, the non-traditional roles, I can say. But in reality, it can create negativity if the man is insecure, because he will basically he just will put negativity on you, stress on you. He won't feel like a man. He may even verbally abuse you depending on the man. But now if this man is confident and he's still basically trying to enhance his life, trying to make a money move, it can work out. So to me, I believe we both should just get the bag. I don't know how to say it, but I do want to be taken care of. I like how my grandpa or people like back then, they wanted to take care of the household. So it's a little bit of both. I definitely want to get my own bag, but I definitely don't mind getting taken care of. So that's my viewpoint on it.
I tell you, real quiet over there in your little corner. What's on your mind?
I don't really have too much to say about this topic. I don't know why. I think I don't know. I don't.
I can't believe it. Tansy doesn't have anything to say. Queen Tans.
Not really about the breadwinner part. I mean, I just feel like it's the decision of the household.
Exactly.
If the guy's not feeling that confident about it, I think it's the role of the woman to make sure that he knows that he's supported in that household, like most of you have said, and if he's the breadwinner, he's going to take care of the household either way, and I think everybody should share an equal role, like equal parts, be it household duties, all of that. I know if the woman is the main breadwinner, like you said, Queen Na, and the guy needs to take care of the non-traditional roles. I think, even if he's got that time on his hands to do so, everybody got to lend that hand because it's a lot to run a household. It is. It's a lot to run a household. And then you're working 24 hours, you're working a lot, you got overtime, you putting in all this time, and then he's just sitting there gaming or playing games on that. That's not going, we can't do that. We can't do that. Like, it has to be equal, it definitely has to be equal. And then too, in today's society too, you got to think about, like you said, it's not like before. It's a lot of entrepreneurship. It's a lot of ways to make money outside of a union. Because, back in the day, what I'm saying? Everybody was like, you get you a good union job, you good, you straight, but now it's not so much so, it's a lot of jobs that's not unionized. And, you got this pandemic and there's a lot of people not really working like that. So, I mean, I think what Queen Jock was saying too, and I agree with her, is that he has to have some hustle. You got to have some hustle because it takes many hats. It takes many hats to survive in America. You got to have multiple streams of income to survive in the United States of America. So I really think, like, even if you're not working a 9 to 5, you need to be selling some t-shirts out your trunk. You need to be going to the store, getting a packs of water. You need to be out there while I'm at work. You need to be trying to bring something in. So if you don't got nothing to contribute to the household, put some gas in my car. I don't know. Like, you got to have some type of hustle. You got to have a hustle. Like I don't know. God bless some women that are in relationships and the guy isn't really helping that much. That's hard. That's hard because that runs a woman down. That runs you down, and you need to be in a situation where you're not run down. Like, you got to build each other up. I need you giving me life. I need to be giving you life. And, but if you sucking the life out of me, we got to reevaluate this situation. But being a breadwinner of the household, we come from a breadwinner of the household. You know what I'm saying? Like, we born and raised in that. And my mother never ever, made, my father worked all his life, but she just made more. But you never knew it because they came together. And it was a household, you know what I'm saying? Right. So to me, like, I'm gonna support him, but I need to make sure he got some hustle in him. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And do you feel bad that I'm out here and I'm working 10, 12 hours and you home? Like, you gotta feel bad or something. Like, I'm tired when I get home. Right. Try to do something to contribute. And
don't be sitting there waiting for me to cook a lasagna and I just got home and you was home on.
That's all I'm saying.
And if you can't cook, you better order me something to eat.
Yeah, listen. I pray God just provide me with a man that knows how to cook. Praise the Lord.
B, you quiet over there too. What's your take?
Yeah, this is good. I was raised, my mom raised us. She always told us there's nothing like a paycheck with your name on it. And I lived by that. I think financial freedom in a relationship is a great thing because I've seen situations where women stay in unfortunate situations because they're not financially stable. So to be financially secure is an amazing thing in a relationship. As some of us have already shared, it depends on the relationship itself. Are we in a healthy space? Are you secure enough to understand that I make more, but I'm not making you feel like less of a man? I'm not walking around like, oh, that's my TV, that's my car, that's mine. Oh, put that down. No, I bought that yesterday. So I'm not trying to make you feel like less of a human, not even a man at that. And for me, and it's not even I don't want to make it that way. Like, I don't mind. Like, if I make way more money than my husband, I feel like by nature, I should pick up the extra duties around the house. Like, I'm a 50-50 kind of woman. I tell everybody that. Some women look at me like I'm crazy. Like, what? The man's supposed to do everything. I don't live by that. If we make the same amount of money, how can I put that pressure on you? If we're both bringing home $40,000 or $50,000 a year, how can I expect you to do everything and I do just this little bit? Now, if you're in a different tax bracket, yeah, as the man, or just being fair in a relationship, you should take on more of the roles. But I think the pros in it is that we're making it. Like we just said, we're building together. I'm not making you feel like whatever, something happens. And I could be, and let's make this clear too, because I think we're more so saying like breadwinner mean he don't have a job. No, wait a minute. Like, right. I could just be making like 100K and maybe he has 70. Maybe he's not there yet. But we're going to make this thing work together. We're going to build as a family. And again, I think that all depends on how healthy the relationship is.
Right.
Shay, you have something to say, please.
Sometimes we assume that like the women are the best child, caregivers. Sometimes we assume that the women pays the bills the best. Sometimes we assume that there's certain things that we do better than men. And I'm gonna tell you what I've seen. Some of us women can't handle money. So that's something that I brought up before. The society put that pressure on us, like you got to bring home the bacon and you got to pay the bills, because some of us are not good at paying the bills. Some of us are not good at taking care of children. Maybe you need to work. So, and like you said, I really think it depends on the relationship, what you guys decide to do and what's best for your family. Because some men are very comfortable being home and taking care of a kid taking care of the children and running a house, that's another job.
It really is. And during this pandemic, you're a whole teacher right now. You know what I'm saying? You helping with them literally on classes, talking to the teachers, making sure they doing their work. Like that's a whole nother job. That's right there. Making sure you get this virtual learning is on a whole nother level.
Yes.
Well, let me ask you ladies something. Okay. Let's talk more so about the cons. Like if you're in, say for instance, you was married, you're in a relationship and you're bringing in the money and he lost his job or the money isn't coming in like that. But you're bringing in the money. What do you do? Like, what would you do in that type of situation in a relationship? Would you just drop him because he's not bringing in the money anymore, or what?
Like I said,
ask the question again, Ty. I'm sorry.
Like he need to be a hustler. If he's a hustler, he's gonna pick something else up. He's not gonna, it's not gonna be one of them type people that he gets knocked down and he stay down. No, like if
I get that. I get that, but I'm saying,
listen. If I know he's a hustler, I'm going to go ahead and hold that weight because I know he would do the same.
Right.
And then I know he's going to be back on his feet. So once again, that still goes back to the type of individual you're dealing with, because you got to know who you're dealing with and what you would be tolerant of.
Right. Right. And that's all we're trying to say. We're not trying to say kick him out and all that stuff. That's not what we're trying to say. We're going to hold him down if he's down. But in the midst of him being down, he got to try to get up. Now,
that's right.
After what B said, 70,000 and I make 100. I'm not going to walk around and do all that. We're going to work it together. You pay this, I pay that, and we're going to go up the King's Highway. I'm willing to listen, ride or die, whatever like that. But you're not just going to be home chilling. That's all I'm saying. While I'm out busting my behind from beginning to the end of the day, and then come home and then you're going to be expecting me to cook. You're going to be expecting me to clean, and you're going to be expecting, if you're married, you're going to be expecting somebody to do something in the bedroom.
Your wifely duties.
And you've been home all day playing that PlayStation 5K, whatever, 4K, whatever it is that just came out.
I don't think the millennials are into that, the games and sitting home.
No, it's some your age. It's my age. They're playing the games too, Ty. They get too.
I have never ran into that.
Oh, he coming. He gonna be around trying to talk to you. Don't think.
I have never been
you ain't exempt.
Gonna sit at home and play a game, and that's about it.
That's what I'm saying. And you're a boss chick, so you're not gonna deal with stuff that you dealt with before. You're not gonna deal with that now. You're gonna hold them down if they need to be held. But Ty, you're not gonna tolerate a lot of things that you tolerated back in the day or you tolerated in those relationships. And I'm not just, I'm talking to Ty because first of all, she started the conversation. So it's not, we're picking on Ty. We're just talking around her conversation and we all expressing what we will do and what we will not do based on what she brought up. So it's not that we're picking with her, guys. We love our Queen Ty, but we're just talking on that situation.
Well, let me make something clear. Yes, now I'm in a total different situation I was back then. But yet and still, it wasn't like he sat at home and did, because he was a singer, so he made his money that way too. So it wasn't like he just sat at home and just, waited till I came home. He worked the 9 to 5. He sung at night, making money doing that. But my thing is, it wasn't as much as I was bringing to the table, is what I'm saying. And like I was saying again, we would have to go out for his career. So it wasn't like, well, why would you go out? Because I was supporting him at every angle where I had to support him as his woman, because he had his job, he had his singing career, and he had to go out. So I didn't want him to not pursue his singing career because he didn't have the money to do that. So it was like, to the point where I was helping him and supporting him as well in that point. Yeah, I was making money then too, but all at the same time, I was supporting my man as well. And I'm not going to lie, if I was to get into a relationship and as of today and something happened where so he might have lost his job or whatever, yeah, I'm still going to hold us down. I'm not going to change who I am. I'm going to hold him down still to today, as long as I know that he's out there doing something and trying to progress and trying to get a job just as well as my friend did back then as well. Yeah. He did the same thing back then too.
I have a question. Today's society, isn't there like more stress on us, because not only back then, you know, they didn't really work. I'm not saying only work can give you stress, but like nowadays they expect us to work, they expect us to come back home and clean, they expect us to do all the traditional rules and all the extra stuff. So how do you guys, or how do we as a whole maneuver through these times of living like we live now as a woman? I could say Black woman as well.
Well, you know, we have all these avenues where a lot of people are entrepreneurs. If you cannot clean your house, hire somebody. If you can't cook, hire somebody. You know, I mean, I work long hours. So 9 times out of 10, it's a lot of things that I cannot do that I want to do all the time. And if I feel like I can't do it, I'll just, you know, get somebody that specializes in that particular thing that I need and work it out.
But we strong women, and I you know, and I don't know if I can speak a lot for most of the panel. When we look at our mothers and when we look at our grandmothers and when we look at the ones that was the forerunners before us, man, and saw them hold down a whole entire household and work and come home and take care of and make sure the kids had and da. I mean, we built from that. That is our culture. So we don't really know anything else but to roll up our sleeves and get busy, you know.
That's right.
Seriously, like my daughter's dance teacher stopped me the other day. She said, "Girl, you always on the go. I don't got a chance to talk to you." And me and her just sharing, and in us sharing, I start crying. She start crying. I start crying about stuff I didn't even know I wanted to cry about it. But that's what, and I said, you know, I don't like talking to you. I said, every time I talk to you, me and you just get in this moment. And she said, I know, but it's because you go so much and you roll up your sleeves and you on a go so much. You don't really have a moment to sit really and think about everything that's really going on with you. And it's a lot, you know, and like I said, we wear multiple hats as women of color. And it's just so much that we do between, like, you know, Queen Jock performances and church things and, you know, having to live life and do all this. It's a lot that you got to do. But once again, as our culture, we roll up our sleeves and we get busy. It's not even a second thought. It's not even a second thought, Queen Na.
I can agree that's kind of ingrained in our DNA. And my mom, you know, I watched my mom do everything. She was a Renaissance woman. She was an entrepreneur, and she took care of the household. She was here, there, and everywhere. And
wait a minute, Queen Shay. She was an entrepreneur before most of us in that church even tapped into that.
That's right. I have my candy.
What? I was about to say, my favorite candy lady.
Yes, I love her.
Yolanda held us down. You hear me?
Exactly. Before we do what an entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's true. And I really do admire my mom's hustle and my mom's drive. In her absence, I kind of took on her role, especially with, you know, my brothers and sisters and things like that. But I had to learn, and Jock said this to me one day. She said, you because I was so upset and I was so distraught because, you know, taking care of a family is hard. It's hard.
Come on, hello.
And so, and it's not financial or anything like that, but, you know, emotionally taking care, you know, just being that rock. And so
that's right.
She said, I was venting to her and I'm crying, and she's like, you got to stop, because you're going to wind up sick. And I really had to take that in. And I'm like, wow, like, you know, that was a heavy hitter because, you know, my mom had breast cancer. And so I just didn't want to fall in, you know, taking on that route. I didn't want to fall into the same patterns and make the same mistakes that eventually, and, you know, she took on so much. And so her immune system was open to these things. She was susceptible to these things. And I don't want to, I'm learning from my mom now, not necessarily following exactly in her footsteps, but I'm learning from her journey. And so learning the balance between sacrifice and you know, self-care, taking care of yourself and making sure you're good. So no, do I want to necessarily have to roll up my sleeves every single time and take on everything? And no, because I want to remain healthy. I want to make sure that I'm good as well. So I want to have a helpmate that sees that and acknowledges that, and it's an equal partnership. I don't want to feel like I gotta, you know, roll up my sleeves and, you know, pull my bootstraps up. I don't want to have to feel like, you know, the load is so heavy. I pray my helpmate is really my helpmate. And when times get rough, we are both carrying the load together so that neither one of us are susceptible to the cons of what comes with rolling up your bootstraps, you know. So.
And women really need to, like what you, that was a good highlight that you said, for real, because in you picking a mate and choosing a mate, those are the qualities you got to make sure you see. Those are the qualities that you got to look for, because once again, you don't want to have to pull up your sleeves and your bootstraps and get going, and you turn around and he laying down like, all right, babe, I'll see you when you come back, with the remote in his hand.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, well, we got to be realistic too with society of today. Things just don't roll the way we want it to roll because we have that embedded in our heads. Like, you got to understand, things happen in the workforce. Look at what happened with Corona. Everyone just about was laid off. Stores was closing. People are losing their jobs left and right. Yeah. So you have essential workers mainly working, and you have some people working from home, but still don't have the income that they had prior to this coronavirus. Like, things, and then you have a lot of people taking their lives because they're not making the money, losing their homes because they're not making the money that they were prior to this even happening. So my thing is, like I said, things happen. So you have to be realistic and ready to roll with whatever happens.
Yeah, you got to be able to roll. But keep in mind, too, also because of this pandemic, a lot of careers and new jobs and things were born. And it was created and born because when one door closes, another one opens.
That's right.
And that was the birth. And that was the birth of Black-owned businesses.
Come on now.
Yeah.
The birth. Amen. I mean, left and right. I felt like I was supporting somebody every week. Trying to get somebody T-shirts, mugs, pictures, whatever. Food, yes. So it was the food. Like I said, it's a hustle in everything. Sometimes it's a reason why they lose their job. Maybe God is trying to use them to do something else, to turn their career into, a job into a career.
Right.
Something they love or something like that. You couldn't do it while you was working.
Right. And you can also, Jock, when that happens, be that support for them and encourage them. And that could be you too. Both of you need to be encouragement for each other, so you both can see that open door. Because if you close off and you depressed and you feeling some type of way, you don't even see the door open.
And you can work together because you can work together because he can be the hustler and you be the admin, and that's how you boom. Business.
Yeah, I truly get everything that you guys are saying, but bills still keep rolling in. It takes time to build a business, but your bills still keep rolling in. You have your mortgage or your rent that still got to keep going. Bills still keep rolling in while you're trying to build your business. Yeah, I see what everyone's talking about, but your bills don't stop coming in.
No, your bills don't start coming in, and ain't nobody saying that he got to start trying to build a Fortune 500 company. You got to start small. Go buy some incense and go to the laundromat. And I'm telling you,
and some socks.
I truly understand that, but the money's not coming in on no incense to pay a mortgage, to pay a car note, to pay insurance.
You gotta foot.
But you holding it down for him.
Why he get the gas?
Exactly.
You gotta hold it down, Queen Ty.
Wait a minute.
Hey, now you get what I'm saying. Hello. Now you get what I'm saying. Now you get what I'm saying.
That unemployment was popping this year.
Okay.
Unemployment was popping. It was getting like $900.
Only because of the virus. Unemployment hasn't been always popping. That's only because of the virus.
In the pandemic, it was popping. It was popping in the pandemic.
But no. Now you get what I'm saying. Now you guys was thinking that, okay, well, no, this person just sitting at home. No, your bills keep rolling in regardless as to what you're doing. You still have to pay out stuff regardless.
But nobody said that you don't, though.
Yeah, I knew that.
No, you're not getting what I'm saying. You're not getting what I'm saying.
We get it, Ty.
Nobody ever said anything opposite of what you're saying.
Yeah, but you guys are still focusing on let me but he just have to have a hustle selling incense, doing this and doing that. I'm not saying far as that.
You gotta start somewhere.
I'm not saying far as that hustle. I'm just saying money still have to be paid out regardless as to what you're thinking. Money still have to be paid out. Things still roll as your business is getting off the ground. Things are still coming at you.
So Ty, what do you want him to do? You want him to have like a job he don't like at the same time as starting his little business, or are you okay with him not having a job while he starts his little business?
No, he can do both.
Oh.
He can do both. Start the business and have a job that you don't like if that's the case. Do both. Your money still got to come in, honey. Your money still got to come in regardless.
I would like to touch on something that Queen Jock said. She talked about starting your own business, and this is a great time and opportunity to do that. And I think that's important because I was going to talk about being in the workforce and me as a woman, and I don't know if it has anything to do with Black, but being as a woman and working in the workforce, there were people doing the same jobs I was doing that was getting paid more than me. So I can only imagine a Black male going into the workforce and not getting that opportunity, even though he overqualified or qualified, and they're telling him he's underqualified. So many obstacles with getting a job or getting a job that pays what he requires or desire. So, this might be that proper time to that if you have ideas to push forth those ideas, to birth those ideas so that you can start a business, and then you don't have to worry about someone discriminating against you because you have a criminal record or wherever it may be. I'm not making no excuse for no man, but I realize that the workforce had been different for them than it has been for us as women. And that's why a lot of us as women are making more money. And I think one of the issues come in is when we take that attitude, like Queen Lady B said, where I got my own car and I pay the rent and I do this and I do that. And now the person is feeling belittled. It's exactly what Queen Ty was saying. She was just helping out in a bad time just so that he wouldn't feel that pressure, because she already know at home he's feeling some type of way about being a man and about being the one that always provided, and I can't do it right now. So I'm just saying this is a great opportunity to birth those ideas that we have. We are a creative people. It is time for us to birth these ideas and do what we got. And in the meantime, if you got to hold it down, because when you guys said y'all want to be married, it says for better or for worse, to death do you part. So whether they rich or poor, you gotta be there. So pay the bills until the business gets started.
Well, we just date, and I don't have to be there because it's not for better or for worse.
Well, I'm talking about in a marriage. I was talking about more so in a marriage, right?
What's going on with Queen Emma? She quiet. We need some wisdom before we close out. We need you to chime in. She muted.
Emma on mute.
I think you're on mute.
You muted.
You on mute.
Gotta unmute yourself.
Come on, being quiet and listening. I was being quiet and listening. So, I think to wrap up the conversation, to wrap up the topic about women being breadwinners, I think it is a good thing. It's a good thing. The further you get financially, the more secure you are. Being breadwinners does not necessarily mean throwing it up in your partner's face about you making more money than them. Being breadwinners is about supporting. Like I said, it's about equal sacrifice, not necessarily equal pay. And if sacrifice is your partner's cleaning the house and taking care of the kids and cooking and all that kind of stuff, and that works for you, then that's good. If sacrifice is your partner, hustling on the street and that works for you, that's good. Being the breadwinner, the woman breadwinner doesn't necessarily mean emasculating your man. It means, to me, being a woman, period, is when you support your significant other. It's being able to, the phrase is, I can bring home the bacon and fry it up in a pan and never let him forget he's the man.
That's it.
And that's the point. You gotta never let him forget he's the man. And right. You have to do as a woman what that takes. That's why God made us, because we're phenomenal. We can do it all, and it's hard and it's tough, but it's a way that you can survive in any relationship to make it work. You can be the breadwinner and the supportive partner. And I was in a situation where my mother, she had a college degree and my father did not, but you never knew. They mingled their money. You never knew who made the most money, because my father was, he was bringing home the bacon and my mother was bringing home the bacon. You understand what I'm saying? So it's possible to make it work in your relationship. But the key is you have to be willing to make it work. You can't be the one that's thrown up in the face and all that kind of stuff. You recognize what this situation, you put up with what you put up with from the beginning. If you're in a relationship with somebody and they're not working and that's not working for you, cut that out. Okay, it was nice meeting you because, talk or whatever, but this is not a relationship, like that. But if you meet somebody who they trying and you trying and it works for you, make it happen. Make it happen, Captain.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead.
Can the man lead if he's not the breadwinner?
Yes, he can.
Absolutely.
Yes, he can. You follow him as he followed Christ. You understand what I'm saying? And he can be the leader. He can, if he got good common sense, if he, we're not talking about somebody who's going to take your check and go to the gambling hall, play pickets. You understand what I'm saying? We talk about a responsible person. And you can be the breadwinner and he can still be the leader.
So I just have a quick question, Queen Ja. Does money define whether or not a man is a man?
I don't think so.
He asked you,
because she asked a great question, and it was something to really think about. That's why I asked her that question.
Yeah.
It's a good question.
It's a good question.
Yes.
What's your answer, John? Queen John?
Maybe that's next episode. I have answered this.
Somebody put that in the chat.
My thing is,
somebody put that in the chat for Queen T.
I'm terrified
of
two things. I'm terrified of two things: snakes and being homeless. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to get to the point where I step out to be with somebody and everything's going good and things like that, and then there's a struggle, and I just don't want to struggle, y'all.
But it's a possibility.
I'm sorry, I don't want to struggle. I don't. And we all have our struggling moments. Yes, I know that. Things happen. Yes, I know that. But I don't want to stay there.
I know that's right.
And I don't want to be the one that you depend on to get us out of there. That shouldn't be my job.
Come
A
on.
man's job to me is to lead, to protect, huh? That's to me. To lead, to provide, and to protect. And that's what I want, and that's what I grew up in. Y'all did too, because I know some of y'all fathers. And I know some of y'all fathers and y'all mothers and their marriages. Yes, they did that. They led, they provided, and they protected.
And that can happen even if the woman is making more money.
I know that's right. That's what I'm saying.
Even if the woman is making more money, if he can lead, and that's my point exactly. If he can lead, provide, and protect, and he not making as much money as the woman,
but that's not what I'm saying. Yes, when you saying not as much money, I understand that. Like I could be making 20,000 more, 5,000 more. I understand it. That's not what I'm talking about.
Right,
I'm talking about if they don't have nothing. That's what I think. But it's some women that fall in love with men that don't bring nothing to the table. They just want to be in love.
But I think
you just want to be with somebody. Now we're gonna talk about breadwinner. We're gonna talk about every topic of being the breadwinner and the type of man that you are with.
But Queen Emma made that perfectly clear. You have to establish, you know what you want in a relationship. If that's the kind of relationship you get into, you know it's not for you. And I hate to bring Bible scripture into this, but y'all know what Job's biggest fear was. So please don't let that be your fear, because we know that the enemy is the one that gives you that spirit of fear. Don't let that be your fear, because anything in life can happen. I even look at homeless people. Do people think all homeless people are people who never had a job or never work or don't have aspirations? Some of them have college degrees.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
So it can happen, but I'm just saying, don't let that be
people that are homeless literally get disability and have money on their cards, and they still prefer to be out on the street. Don't think
right. There was this lady that used to be at Penn Station years ago. She was behind Penn Station on that bank where Raymond Boulevard and Market Street separate. And she would be out there. She would have on a coat, and she would be pushing this cart, and asking for spare change. And this limousine every day would come up and snatch her up and put her in, like she was loaded, but her mind wasn't right. Lady B.
Where Lady B go?
She done fell out of her chair.
Her mind wasn't right, so she didn't realize. So I said that to say,
I wasn't ready for the limousine. What?
Yeah, you would see this limousine come and pick her up and snatch her up and put her.
Just get no more of my money, not my quarters.
What I'm telling you. So everybody that's out here asking for change is not necessary.
Millionaires.
Yeah.
Are we?
That's a true story.
I believe you. I be saying that. I be telling my mother that all the time. Like, I'm giving them my last dollar, and they probably got thousands of dollars in the bank.
Right.
Oh, have mercy.
Oh God. All right, Tam, it seemed like we had a good show today. Talking about pros and cons of a breadwinner. Go on, Tam, take us out.
Thank you everyone. We really want to just be serious for 2 seconds and really thank you for your support. You all have supported us, and we have came out this gate running, and we thank you so much. We really do. We really appreciate you. And keep in mind, you have been a part of the Queen's Quarters experience. There is a king and there's a queen in you. And king and queens, listen, we are looking for your feedback. We've talked to a few of you, and a lot of you asked questions, and a lot of you gave us some suggestions and things of that nature. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. We are here for you. We want to know what it is you want to see. We want to know what it is you want to talk about. We want to engage with you. So we just really appreciate all of the feedback thus far and all of the love and the support. And keep in mind, we want you guys to continue to support us on Facebook, all of our social media platforms. Keep in mind, we are on Twitter, we are on TikTok, we are on YouTube, Instagram. So come on, support us. Go to each of our pages, like and support. Be there. We pop up with some different things and marketing tools and things to kind of keep you guys going and keep you guys knowing what we're going to be doing next. So stay in this thing with us. We appreciate you once again. YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit your post notifications so you know when we're going live. Stay tuned with us on Facebook, all of our social media platforms, and we will see you next Wednesday at Queen's Quarters.